What an incredible day it is. The reveal for Pokemon Generation 9, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. And we've got a full in-depth breakdown for the things you might have missed from the reveal trailer and much, much more. Let's dive in. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drive. I'm bringing you guys another video today, and today we are diving in to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the newest generation announced for the Pokemon franchise, Pokemon Gen 9 confirmed. If you guys missed my reaction, you should check it out because I was pretty hyped, and I'm just super over the moon and thankful and excited for this upcoming chapter of the Pokemon franchise, and I'm just very thankful that I get to share all this with you. So be sure to like the video if you guys enjoy this one, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new so you don't miss out on our Pokemon coverage here. I've got a ton of content coming out over the next few days and beyond, discussing the new game and breaking things down. But in this particular video, we're gonna actually be diving into the trailer very in depth. There's some really cool stuff, some really secret stuff, lots to break down in this one that I'm sure you missed. So let's just dive in. Let's talk about all the little pieces. And if you find anything different, maybe something I missed, you guys can let me know in the comment section below. But let's pull up this trailer and let's go frame by frame, and I'll show you guys the stuff we found. So a few things I want to mention before I actually dive into the exact trailer. There's a few really important pieces. One, Pokemon has come out on their website to say that these new titles, the Pokemon series, takes a new evolutionary step, allowing you to explore freely in a richly expressed open world. And they've used the term open world in multiple different areas. So I think for the first time ever, we are truly getting a comprehensive open world Pokemon style game. And it does show that Arceus was a stepping stone towards that, as we had kind of segmented areas. This game will truly be open world, which is very, very exciting. It says various towns blend seamlessly into the wilderness with no borders. You'll be able to see the Pokemon of this region in the skies, the seas, the forests, and on the streets, all over. You'll be able to experience the true joy of the Pokemon series, battling against wild Pokemon in order to catch them. Now in an open world game that players of any age can enjoy. Truly the masterpiece we have all been waiting for. We do have some information regarding the starter Pokemon. Sprigatito is the name of the grass type Pokemon. It is a grass cat Pokemon that is capricious, attention-seeking grass cat Pokemon. Fuecoco, who I love dearly, you guys can let me know in the comments section below what team you're on, is the fire starter, the fire croc. It's a laid-back fire croc Pokemon that does things at its own pace. And the final starter is Quaxly, the duckling Pokemon, which is an earnest and tidy duckling. Very, very excited about that. Lastly, the main characters that you have between Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet have different outfits, and they mention who knows what kind of story awaits you, and we see some really cool screenshots from the website. So that's all the information from the website that we have at this point, but we expect that to be updated in the future. Further, I want to call attention to the Japanese Pokemon logos here, which are always a little bit different than the American logos, and they often will have some sort of an indicator in them to kind of what is coming in the main kind of features of the game. In the past, they've teased Mega Evolution and Z Crystals and things of that nature. So keep an eye on that star, because we're going to talk about that throughout with this trailer breakdown, as that star icon seems to appear quite a few times, and it may be very important when we look at what the new mechanics of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet could actually be. So remember that logo on the Japanese kind of logos of Scarlet and Violet, that star logo, that icon, because that is going to turn out to be very important as we kind of figure out what this game really has in store for us. Okay, so here's the trailer, and I'm gonna kind of go through this very, very slowly. I've got 25% frames on, so we're gonna look at things piece by piece here. The first thing is, you've got this calendar over here, right? And this calendar is very much so potentially a lunar calendar. I think it's important to note that there's a hat. This hat up here could be representative of the region and kind of some of the stylistic take, which again, we'll talk about later in this video. We kind of have a really good understanding of what this region is based off of, as I'll kind of cover this as we go. But I find this very interesting, and we're gonna see some similar themes here with the sun, moon, lunar, astrology. There's definitely some really resounding themes as we kind of break this down. I think it's also worth mentioning that when Pokemon does these trailers, they're meticulous about the things that they're including in them. Every item in this room is there for a reason. So this one, there's some interesting symbolism going on with this guy's hat. I think that this is probably important, but you know, it's kind of a little too hard to make out. But as we kind of look forward here, about 55, 56 seconds in, we've got some interesting stuff going on here. This spiderweb-like logo, very, very interesting. This could be something that has to do with maybe the evil team. I don't know yet, but this is something that I'm sure we're gonna see come up again. So remember this logo here. We also see a Pokeball and a Great Ball. Located, it seems, right here. A Great Ball, Ultra Ball, perhaps. So kind of some Pokeball type icons. And we've got the star-like logo as well. Okay, so the star logo actually appears right here, and you have to kind of zoom in, but that star logo from the icons from the kind of main, you know, Japanese logos appears here again. We also see the maps and this exploration theme, and we'll see a few more times as we go through this trailer, as we get a little further along, that there is most certainly a Spain theme going on here. It's actually no doubt. So that's something to keep in mind as you got the maps up here as well. Obviously, looking through the room, there seems to be a huge emphasis on exploration. I think that's obviously a core theme of the Pokemon franchise, but you see all the maps, and we'll see the gold later on. There's just so many things going on in this trailer that really points towards exploration. And here we see that gold, which very much so ties into that exploration theme we were talking about. We skip ahead a little bit here, and we actually see what seems to be our first Pokemon Center, which is out in the outskirts of this big town. Looks kind of like a gas station, actually. And you can actually see another one over here, it looks like. So it seems like there's, you know, quite a few Pokemon Centers just in this one particular area. And here we see it again inside the city this time, another Pokemon Center. Now this cathedral here we're looking at seems to be the Sagrada da Familia, a cathedral that has been in constructions for centuries in Madrid. And this is most likely kind of the central piece of this kind of game, right? This is gonna be kind of like our, when you think of Motostoke in a way, of like how that was like the big area in Sword and Shield, kind of like one of the initial cities. I feel like this game, this is kind of the city for this game as well. Now this is an interesting part of the trailer that I don't really know what it is, if it's a hidden item, but if you focus on this little bush here, it seems like it could be a Pokemon, it could be a Firefly, could be a secret item, but it seems as though there's some sort of sparkling effect that's taking place in that bush over there. There's another part of the trailer that we see it later on, so I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I thought it was worth pointing out to you guys. I do not anticipate this to change, but we've done the counting. There are 18 types located on this like battle ring here. You see fire, water, grass, electric, and so on and so forth that we've counted, and there are 18 types. So do not anticipate a new type of Pokemon. There's not gonna be a cosmic type or a space type or a sound type or whatever in Generation 9. It seems like we're sticking to our 18 types that we've previously had in previous Pokemon games. There's a few angles of this, and we've looked at them all, and it still comes out to 18. So again, do not expect any new types in the new Pokemon games. This shot here is interesting. I think a lot of people miss that there's like Flabebe here in the grass, which is really cool. So obviously Pokemon are gonna kind of just roam out in the world as you go through the game, and this protagonist is heading up towards what we assume to be their house, and this house in the background, this mansion in the background, very well could be the Pokemon lab, right? Like this could be where the professor is. So it's possible that you live right down the street, and that would be a really solid intro sequence, right? You start off, you kind of wander your way down this path, very passive Pokemon nearby that you can't fight yet. You go into the lab, you get your starter Pokemon, which is clearly gonna be Fuecoco, and then you kind of work your way around and obviously begin your adventure at that point. My buddy Silver Beanie actually pointed out on Twitter that this painting that we see here on the screen looks very much so like the Cafe Terrace at Night, which is a Vincent van Gogh painting. So I'll throw that on the screen so you guys can see that for reference, but there's a lot of imagery like that as we kind of go through this trailer. It took a lot of zooming, but this is actually Choodle, it seems, on this book. So Choodle probably confirmed for the region, and this might be Mimikyu or Pikachu. It's a little hard to say, but this one definitely seems to be a Choodle. And here's probably about the best shot of the map that we get, and it's very clear when looking at this that the Generation 9 region is inspired heavily on both Spain and Portugal, as it kind of resembles the western part of that map. So it seems like there's a very heavy influence for Spain and Portugal. Here we are back into kind of this cryptic room, and we see that star logo appearing once again here, and some really interesting imagery. We've got the star, which could be obviously very important regarding the logo, what seems to be some sort of a moon or a globe, telescope. There's definitely some day and night, sun and moon type themes. We think of like the scarlet sun and the violet moon. So some really interesting tie-ins. Crimson and Violet, Red and Blue, the original games. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of thematic similarities between some of the previous Pokemon titles and what we could be looking at here with Scarlet and Violet. Now this one's an interesting one, but we have blood oranges and grapes on the table, and you might be like, what do those have to do with anything? You'll see here in a second as we kind of go to another screenshot. And again, all of this stuff is very meticulously placed, right? There's no coincidences here. Like they intend for this. Here we have these symbols on the walls, which are the grapes and the blood orange again. And to my knowledge, the grape is the national fruit of Spain, but they're both found in Spain and Portugal, and I believe the blood orange is also native to that region as well. So it's very possible that these two types of fruits are important. Maybe they tie into the different games themselves, maybe they tie into the legendaries, maybe they tie into the evil teams, who knows? But there's definitely something important regarding the blood orange and the violet, and I'm sorry, the grapes, and how they kind of resemble the two different games, Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, we get our starter reveal, which was so hype. I'm so in love with Fuecoco if you haven't figured that out yet. And I should also mention, we've got this kind of blueprint here. This is probably important. I don't know what it is yet, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some sort of dome-like building, something to do with treasure. I don't know yet, but I have a feeling that this is gonna make sense down the road. And if you missed my coverage, I believe that this is going to be releasing on November 18th, which is the Friday before Thanksgiving, which is generally the date that Pokemon likes to aim for their releases. So that's our breakdown of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and all of the things that we saw in the trailer. I'm sure there might be more, so feel free to let me know in the comments section below if you feel like we missed anything. But there's a lot of really cool things going on here, from the influence of Spain and Portugal to the blood oranges and the grapes and kind of the symbolism there and how that's going to be tied in to this exploration theme, the sun and the moon and the astrology. And there's so many different things going on here that it's really exciting. It's honestly really exciting. So I cannot wait to find out more about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I got to get those names drilled into my head. And I hope you enjoyed the little bit of information we got about the website, from the Pokemon and everything going on. I'm sure we'll have plenty of videos to come, so be sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed this one, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Let me know what starter you're picking, and if you guys think we missed anything, let us know in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching this one. My name is Dan. I also go by A-Drive, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.